Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben's award-winning podcast, as voted by Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and listeners. So if you're new to the podcast, make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts, listen back to all our previous episodes, sit back, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's episode. Hello and welcome back to Gardening with Ben. Well, it's Saturday and it's time for the weekend. It's time to enjoy being out in the garden. And in yesterday's episode, you'll have listened to all the jobs that you can get started in the allotment and get cracking on with if you've not already done them yourself. And hopefully the weather will be decent, but it is winter. I know we've not had a bad winter whatsoever at the moment. It's been pretty decent this year, and we really can't complain about the weather that we've had, but it could turn, you never know. We may get a bad March, bad February, but we will see how it progresses. Hopefully it stays nice, and hopefully it gives us the kickstart that we need. But we do need the cold to help wake up the spring bulbs, because the cold wakes them up, it gets them going, and it makes them know that it is getting ready for springtime. So we do need some cold weather to get them to wake up. A lot of my spring bulbs are starting to pop through, which is pretty good, but hopefully we do get some more cold weather to get them woken up and get them growing, because I've planted so many bulbs this year. It's going to be phenomenal if they all come out. I really can't wait for the display of how well they look. Hopefully they do look good. Fingers crossed. And that's the thing, you never know with spring bulbs, if they're going to look good or if they're not. And hopefully the squirrels haven't eaten all the bulbs. I noticed a few bulbs have got dug up, but hopefully they've left some in the ground. But there is ways of stopping the squirrels from pinching them. Obviously you can put chicken wire over them to stop them from pinching them and from stopping them from digging them up, but there's only so much you can do to stop stuff from happening. So hopefully we do get a good spring display. Well, today's episode we're going to be talking about the Grow Your Own magazine and the Kitchen Garden magazine, because I do talk about this on a monthly basis, because those two magazines are the best gardening magazines that you can get from the shops. Yes, one costs $6.99 and one costs $5.99, which is quite expensive for a magazine, but the amount of free seeds that you get in the magazine is worth it. It certainly is. And with those seeds, there may be seeds in there that you wouldn't normally purchase if you went to the garden centre or to the supermarket, because you think, oh, I wouldn't grow that variety, or oh, I don't know if I'd like to try that. But if you're getting seeds in the magazine, then you're going to try growing them and seeing what they taste like. And you never know, you might prefer these variety, you might like the vegetable what's grown, because it is homegrown and it will taste better than it would do shop bought. So you might actually like what you've grown, and I've done that plenty of times. I've grown stuff from the magazine and found it really good, and then I've purchased the seeds year after year, because it does work. It makes you want to grow them again if they've grown well for you for the first time. So we're going to talk about what seeds we have got free in this month's magazines, if you've not purchased them already. So first off, we're going to look at the Grow Your Own magazine, and in this magazine we have got 10 free seeds, and hopefully they're all good. I've not seen them yet, so as I'm talking you will find out what I've got as I'm going along. So the first variety is carrots, and they are Volcano F1. They're a disease-resistant late cropping variety, and you will be sowing them in March to June time. A lot of times when in these magazines they'll put in seeds what can be sown for the magazine time. This is March's magazine, so hence why the seeds are for March. And yeah, hopefully we get some good crops from carrots. I've never had much luck with carrots, but I'm going to try a new method this year to see if we can get some fantastic varieties, so watch that. I'm going to be filming that as I go along. We've got some fennel, which I've never tried growing before, So it's going to be worth a shot at trying to grow this. It's a mild aniseed flavour and it's great for garnishing. Again, it can be planted around March to May time. Next up is tomato, and these are Principe Borage. I can't even say that. Borghese. I'm not very good at saying words, but they look like a small plum variety. From what I can see, it says classic Italian sun-dried variety, so they're good for sun drying. These ones. These are a bushy habitat and the best outdoors. So yeah, may try growing them outside, and they're ideal for drying out to be eaten. So yeah, these are to be sown again March to April time, so we'll see how they get on. We have some lettuce, which is Fris de Bougerard. Crisp iceberg with beautiful leaves. Now, I do love growing iceberg lettuces. I get some great varieties, great crops with iceberg. And again, you can sow these from March all the way to July. So with lettuce, it's ideal just to keep sowing some every few weeks so that you've got a continuous crop throughout the year. You don't want them all cropping at the same time, because they all tend to shoot off and flower at the same time, so you can't keep up with them. So sow a few at a time each week. And then we've got some aubergine, early long purple too, and these can be sown now January to April time. I have sown some aubergine ones, but these are nice long ones. Best grown in a greenhouse or polytunnel, and I've got my polytunnel, so I may just put those ones in, even though I've sown some already. But I would like to see what they look like and how well they grow. As you can see, I'm just unwrapping the seeds as I'm going along. Next up, we've got some beetroot, Crosby's Egyptian beetroot. These are bolt resistant American heirloom ones, so they're a good variety. These are March to July time. Again, the same goes for beetroot. Sow some every few weeks so that you get a continuous crop and hopefully get some delicious beetroot. I do love homegrown beetroot, especially when you've just picked it and cooked it out of the pot, and I just eat it straight out of the pot once it's cooled down a bit. Then we've got some dill, which it can be sown from January to December. So yeah, you can sow that all year round. So I am trying to grow different herbs and stuff this year, so we're going to have to pop some of those in and try and get some of those growing. So yeah, it's an annual plant as well. We have got some kale. This is Nero di Toscana. And kale, I tried growing purple kale the other year, and again, that was fantastic. It grew really well and it was tasty as well. So this can be sown March to September time, and you can harvest it from June right through to March. So it's a good winter crop. So if you're wanting to grow stuff through the winter, kale is a good crop to grow. Then we've got some sorrel, red veined. I've never tried sorrel, I don't think. Add flavour to salads and soups, so it'll be worth off trying to see what this actually tastes like. It's got an lemonade sharp flavour, so yeah, to add zing to your salads. So I might try growing them. I've never grown sorrel before, and I don't think I've tasted it, so I can't wait to try what that actually tastes like. And then we've got some cabbage Savoy January King 3, and they can be sown from March to June, and you don't harvest them until November to March. So again, another winter vegetable, what you can be picking in the winter. I do need to start growing more stuff through the winter, because I don't grow anything hardly at all through the winter, because I use that time as my maintenance time, as I always say. It's always good to get that maintenance work done on your allotment and get it all sorted. So let's see what seeds we've got in the Kitchen Garden magazine now. Again, you get 10 packets of seeds free with this magazine. Well, they're not free because you're paying that amount of money for the magazine, but you get 10 packets free. Obviously, some of them may be duplicated with the other magazine because they are both Mr. Fothergill's, so you may get duplicates, but sometimes mostly the different varieties of what's in each magazine, which is good, so you can try different varieties of stuff to grow. So in this one we have got some more tomatoes. We've got some Roma VF ones, which can be sown from January to April, and you get 50 seeds in them. Like I say, I always tend to just sow all the seeds and then they all end up growing, and you're like, you don't want to chuck none of the plants away. But yeah, definitely. But we'll see about sowing some of them. I've tried Roma in the past and I don't know if I'm that keen on Roma, so we might not sow them. We might have to give that packet away to somebody. Then we've got some carrots called Paris Market 5. Now these just look like small little balls of carrot. They don't look like proper carrots. They're smooth, round, bite-sized carrots, fast to mature, can be grown in containers or even clay soils. So they're not full-size carrots, so I don't know about them. I don't know if I'm going to grow them, because they're not proper sized carrots. They're only really small balls. They're like mini beetroots. But we'll see about them. Then we've got some more kale, dwarf green curled kale. I've again, like I said, I've grown purple kale before, and that was curly kale as well, and I did really well with that, so I might try growing some more kale this year, because we didn't grow any last year, so hopefully we'll get some kale in, and that'll be harvesting through the winter time. Then we've got some greyhound cabbage that can be sown from March to May time, and you harvest it in the June to September time. It's good quality, mild flavoured, pointed heads. Then we've got some more beetroot, Detroit 2 Crimson Globe. Again, I'm always growing lots of beetroot, so it's always good to get plenty of packets of beetroot. I must have loads of packets of beetroot in my bag. I do really need to sort them all out and see what we've got growing. But this variety, you don't sow it until April to July time, so it's a bit later, that variety. Then we've got some peppers, hot decaying ones. I'm sure I got them free in another magazine other month. February to April time you sow them ones, so we'll be sowing them next month and seeing if we can get some peppers growing. I do want to try and grow plenty of different stuff this year in the polytunnel, so that's going to be one for them. Brussels sprouts. I was just talking about Brussels sprouts in one of my other podcasts. Evesham special. Sow in February to April, but you don't harvest them till September, December. Brussels sprouts are one of the longest things to grow out of all the vegetables. But like I was saying, I've seen purple Brussels sprouts before, and I might try and grow them this year rather than the green ones. But we'll see. We'll see how much space we've got. We don't want to cram too much in, but we'll have a look around. Then we've got some mixed spicy salad leaves, so they're ideal for like a pot or something. I can grow them in a little pot at the side of my polytunnel or somewhere on my plot, and you can just keep cutting them off and putting them in your salads, and you sow them in March time to August, so you can just keep sowing a few of those regularly throughout the year. Cauliflower, all year round, this one, sown in January to June and September to October, so you can sow it in between them periods, and you'll harvest them between June and October. And these are white cauliflowers. Again, I've never had much luck with white cauliflowers. Purple cauliflowers I always do well with, so I don't know if I'm going to try and grow them or not, but we could see. We might try some white ones again for this year and see what they grow like. It says large white curds of good quality, so maybe they are alright, but we'll have to see about whether we give them a try or not. And then we've got some lettuce Catalogna, and you sow this between March and August time. This looks like it's just cut and come again lettuce. Good flavour, loose leaf type, perfect for mixed salads. Pick individual leaves or non-hearting heads. So yeah, you just keep snipping them off. So I might try some of those. Again, all this stuff what I'm getting free in the magazine, I wouldn't necessarily go out and purchase them from the supermarket. They would be stuff what I would not bother with half of the stuff. So it's good that you get all these extra things in the magazine, and you wouldn't try them if you didn't get them for free, obviously. So we're going to be trying lots of different stuff this year. I'm really excited about my plot this year. I'm going to give it my all, and I can't wait to get some great rewards from growing stuff on my plot and seeing how well it all goes. But we'll see how it all goes. And again, make sure you follow me on all my socials: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you will be able to keep up to date with how well I'm growing all this stuff, and we'll see how well we do actually get on with everything. So do click subscribe on these podcasts to stay up to date with all my podcasts. You get notified when new podcasts appear. If you've not checked out my second podcast channel, there is a link in the description. It's called Gardening and Allotment Tips Podcast, where they're just 5-minute short little episodes talking about different tips every single episode. So until next time, it's been a nice longish episode, this one. So until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts. So thank you for listening to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Remember to do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts. Feel free to share them on your Instagram stories so that it spreads the word about my podcast and we get lots more listeners. Feel free to check out my social media sites, Facebook and Instagram as well, Gardening with Ben, and also my YouTube channel, to stay up to date with all my handy videos, how-to videos, and sharing my tips and advice. And feel free to check the link as well in the description for my Gardening with Ben t-shirts. Lots of funny gardening design t-shirts in there for you to purchase at great prices too. So thanks again, and as always, remember, keep smiling and keep gardening.